The myth that speed bleeds wallets is about to get torched today because we've dug deep into the used car market's underbelly to unearth 10 asphalt-ripping machines that'll crack 150 miles per hour, all for under 10 grand. From American muscle to sophisticated sedans and everything in between, these machines pack some serious performance and enough speed to make your commute a blur. Stick around till the end, and we'll reveal the one sleeper pick that'll shock even the most seasoned gearhead. Let's get this show on the road. Number 1. Chrysler 300C SRT8. Released in the 2000s, the 300C SRT8 was a four-door brute that dared to punch above its weight. Back when gas was cheap and the economy wasn't a dumpster fire, Chrysler decided to throw a party, and the SRT8 was born. A 6.1-liter Hemi V8, a monument to American excess, crammed under the hood, put out 425 horsepower of unadulterated Detroit muscle. 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, and top speed was over 170 miles per hour. Yeah, this wasn't just a big, comfy cruiser. It was a sledgehammer in a velvet glove. It could hustle, it could corner, and it could definitely intimidate. Then, the world went sideways. The recession hit, and suddenly, performance cars were about as popular as a root canal. Chrysler, like so many others, had to tighten the belt, and the SRT8, along with many of its high-octane brethren, got the axe. A damn shame, really. Thankfully, today these fire-breathing sedans, once the pride of Chrysler's performance division, are now bargain basement legends. 10 grand. That's what you're looking at. For that, you get a high-performance sedan that still turns heads with its imposing presence. Hemi power means a throwback to the glory days of big block power. You also get all the creature comforts you'd expect from a luxury sedan. At the end of the day, the SRT8 is a reminder that sometimes the best performance bargains are the ones that slip through the cracks. Number 2. It's now time to talk about one of the unsung heroes of the late 90s, the third-gen F-body, more specifically that glorious 96 Z28. This is pure, unadulterated American muscle, the kind that rumbles with the raw power of a thunderstorm. We're talking about a 5.7-liter V8, a proper chunk of iron that churns out 325 horsepower. That's enough to light up those rear tires like a 4th of July fireworks display. 0 to 60? A little over 5 seconds. Top speed? A respectable 160 miles per hour. In a world of increasingly complex electronics and delicate components, this thing was a sledgehammer. And here's the best part: simplicity. A live rear axle, a robust gearbox, a chassis that could take a beating. This wasn't some delicate flower. It was a workhorse. You could wrench on it in your driveway with a basic toolkit. Parts, dirt cheap and readily available. The aftermarket is a gold mine, offering everything from mild bolt-ons to full-blown engine swaps. Think about it. For less than 10 grand, you could own a piece of American muscle history and a car that could embarrass plenty of modern machines. Of course, there's a catch. Like any used car, especially a performance machine, you've got to do your homework. Look for stock examples. Avoid the ones that have been hacked up by some backyard mechanic with questionable taste. You want a clean, unmolested Z28, a blank canvas ready for your personal touch. Number 3. Jaguar XJR. We're diving deep into the glorious, yet gloriously flawed 1998 to 2002 Jaguar XJR. Yes, that low-slung, effortlessly elegant sedan that screams Gentleman's Express while packing a supercharged V8 punch that'll rearrange your internal organs. For those of you who appreciate the finer things in life, but also enjoy the occasional tire-scorching blast, the XJR is a siren song. Under that long sculpted hood lurks a 4.0-liter supercharged V8, a proper beast that churns out a lazy 375 horses. That's enough to propel this luxurious land yacht to 60 miles per hour in a blistering 5 seconds flat. And while the factory lads cap the fun at 155 miles per hour, we all know a little electronic wizardry can unleash the full potential, pushing it towards a respectable 170. Imagine the sheer joy of hearing that supercharger whine as you leave lesser mortals in your rearview mirror at the lights. But here's the rub, folks. Like a finely tailored suit with a few loose threads, the XJR's beauty is often skin deep. These majestic machines, while undeniably gorgeous and thrilling to drive, have a reputation for being, well, temperamental. Think of it as a high-maintenance supermodel, stunning but demanding. Those complex electronics, that intricate suspension, and that powerful engine can all conspire to drain your wallet faster than a thirsty V8 guzzles premium gas. And yet, for the masochistic gearhead in all of us, the appeal of a sub-$10,000 XJR is simply undeniable. You're getting a slice of automotive history, a car that oozes class and performance for the price of a used Econobox. Just remember, that same bargain price tag might be a down payment on a future filled with expensive repairs. So, if you're willing to gamble on a bit of British engineering eccentricity and you've got a good mechanic on speed dial, the Jaguar XJR might just be the perfect blend of style, speed, and potential financial ruin. Proceed with caution and a well-stocked toolbox. Number 4. Pontiac GTO. Alright gearheads, let's talk about a tragedy wrapped in a Monero skin. The 04 to 06 Pontiac GTO. Yeah, that GTO. The one that still sparks heated debates in the garage late at night, fueled by lukewarm beer and the lingering scent of burnt rubber. Pontiac took Holden's Monero, a rear-wheel drive Aussie bruiser, slapped a Pontiac badge on it, and crammed an LS engine under the hood. What could possibly go wrong? Everything apparently. See, the problem wasn't the guts. Oh no, the guts were glorious. You had the LS1, then the LS2, spitting out 350 and 400 horsepower respectively. We're talking sub 5 second 0 to 60 times, a genuine 175 miles per hour top speed. This wasn't some boulevard cruiser. This was a legit tire-shredding, asphalt-devouring muscle car. It handled too, thanks to that independent rear suspension, a far cry from the live axles of yore. But the styling, oh, the styling. It was, shall we say, understated. Too understated. It looked like a Holden Monero. And while that's not a bad-looking car in its own right, it wasn't the Pontiac GTO the American faithful expected. They wanted flare nostrils, scoops, spoilers, and a general air of, I'm here to kick some A. Instead, they got a sleek, almost anonymous coupe. The marketing didn't help either. Pontiac struggled to explain what this car exactly was. Was it a retro throwback? A modern performance machine? Nobody really knew. And with sticker prices that weren't exactly bargain basement, even back in the day, buyers flocked to the more visually dramatic and arguably less capable competition. The result? Sales figures that made Pontiac executives weep into their spreadsheets. A car with genuine performance chops, a modern chassis, and a legendary nameplate, relegated to the misunderstood bin of automotive history. A true shame, because in the right hands, the last GTO was a beast. And if you find a clean one today, you're looking at a serious sleeper that can embarrass a lot of modern performance cars. Number 5. Porsche Boxster. Back in the mid-90s, the OG 986 Boxster was the scrappy little roadster that dared to ask, do you really need a 911? Because, frankly, most of the time, you don't. And for the price of a used Corolla, you can snag a slice of Stuttgart's finest. We're talking mid-engine magic. Those flat sixes nestled snugly behind your ears, singing a mechanical howl. Choose between the 2.5 and 2.7 or the fabulous 3.2-liter, all delivering that signature Porsche Boxer punch. 204 to 260 horsepower might not sound like much in the age of 700 horsepower SUVs, but in a car that weighs about as much as a well-fed house cat, it's plenty. 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds, 160 miles per hour top speed. In a car that handles like it's glued to the tarmac? Yes, please. And let's not forget the chassis. This isn't some floppy convertible. This is a Porsche built with the same DNA as its big brother, the 911. The steering is telepathic, the handling is razor sharp, and the balance is, well, perfect. Car mags back in the day were gushing about it, and they weren't wrong. This thing corners like it's on rails, and it'll make you feel like a driving god, even if your daily commute involves navigating rush hour traffic. But it gets better because the Boxster is also practical. Yes, practicality in a mid-engine roadster. 2 trunks, one in the front, one in the back. Enough space for a weekend getaway or, a serious grocery run. Forget the impractical sports car stereotype with this one. This sports car can haul. You get the Porsche badge, the mid-engine thrills, and the open-top experience, all for the price of a used Econobox. So, ditch the sensible sedan and embrace the Boxster. You won't regret it. Number 6. C5 Chevrolet Corvette. Alright, gearheads, let's talk about a slice of Americana that's aged like fine bourbon. The C5 Corvette. Forget your fancy pants European exotics with their astronomical repair bills and finicky electronics. We're diving into the heart of affordable performance. A car that proves you don't need a trust fund to experience the thrill of a proper sports car. The C5, born in '96 and lasting until '05, wasn't just another vet. It was a revolution. Chevy threw out the old playbook and crafted a machine that was genuinely world-class. That sleek, slippery body, that wasn't just for show. It sliced through the air like a hot knife through butter, contributing to its impressive 175 miles per hour top speed. And under that long, sculpted hood, a 5.7-liter LS 1V8 pumping out a healthy 350 horses. That's enough to launch you to 60 miles per hour in a hair under 5 seconds, leaving people choking on your tire smoke. But the C5's brilliance wasn't just about straight-line speed. It was the way it handled. That transaxle setup with the gearbox tucked back by the rear axle gave it near-perfect weight distribution. This meant the C5 could carve corners with a precision that would make a surgeon jealous. You could practically feel the road through the steering wheel, and the car's balance was so spot-on that even a ham-fisted driver could look like a hero. And here's the best part. It's cheap to run. Forget those horror stories about import sports cars draining your bank account. The C5's robust mechanicals and readily available parts mean maintenance is a breeze. You won't be mortgaging your house to replace a sensor or fix a leaky gasket. Now let's talk about the price. You can snag a decent C5 for around $10,000. Whether you prefer the sleek coupe or the wind-in-your-hair convertible, there's a C5 for everyone. So, if you're looking for a fast, fun, and affordable sports car, the C5 is a no-brainer. It's the working man's supercar, and it's ready to put a smile on your face every time you turn the key. Number 7. E39 BMW 540i. Forget the M5 for a second. Yeah, I said it. We all know the E39 M5 is the automotive equivalent of a perfectly tailored suit, a tower of V8 Fury and balanced chassis. But let's be real, those prices are now stratospheric, reserved for collectors and guys who wear driving gloves to the grocery store. Enter the 540i, the E39's slightly less flamboyant, but equally capable sibling. This isn't just some watered-down version, folks. This is a proper Bavarian bruiser, packing a 4.4-liter V8 that sounds like a mildly annoyed bear when you prod it. Now, 291 horsepower might not sound like much in today's world of 700-plus horsepower SUVs, but back in the late 90s, this thing was a rocket ship. 0 to 60 in a tick over 6 seconds? That's still respectable today, and it's plenty quick for merging onto the highway or scaring unsuspecting passengers. Top speed was electronically limited to 155 miles per hour. And let's not forget the styling. Park a 540i next to an M5, and you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference unless you're a hardcore Bimmerphile. That subtle aggression, the understated elegance, it's all there. You get the same beautifully sculpted body, the same iconic kidney grille, and the same feeling of driving something truly special. The best part? The price. While E39 M5s today are fetching silly money, you can still snag a clean 540i for a fraction of the cost. These cars are aging gracefully, becoming modern classics, and they offer a driving experience that's hard to replicate. You get the classic BMW feel, the smooth power delivery, and the rock-solid build quality, all without breaking the bank. Number 8. Audi S4 B6. Let's talk about yet another sleeper hit from Deutschland, the Audi S4 B6. Yeah, you heard right, the B6. Forget your modern, screen-laden, overboosted nonsense. We're talking about a time when Audi knew how to build a proper performance sedan, a wolf in slightly tailored sheep's clothing. See, back in the early aughts, the S4 wasn't just another badge slapped on a mildly tweaked A4. This was a proper, honest-to-goodness performance machine that didn't scream about its abilities. It whispered them with a throaty V8 rumble that could make any gearhead weak in the knees. We're talking about a 4.2-liter V8, 340 naturally aspirated horses, all eager to rev up to 7,000 RPM, 5 seconds to 60 in 2003. That was serious pace. And let's not forget the electronically limited 155 miles per hour top speed. Because, you know, Germany, gotta keep things orderly. But we all know it had more in it, right? But the real magic wasn't just the engine. It was that Quattro badge, the legendary all-wheel drive system that made the S4 a weapon in any weather. Rain, snow, shine, it really didn't matter. The B6 just gripped and went like hell, providing a level of confidence that few other cars could match. And let's not forget the styling. Understated elegance, that's what it was. Just clean lines, a subtle body kit, and those iconic S4 mirrors. It was a car that looked good parked in front of a fancy restaurant or tearing up a back road. It was a reminder of a time when Audi built cars for drivers, not just for marketing reps, and that, my friends, is why the B6 S4 will always be a classic. Number 9. Infiniti G35 Coupe. Let's talk about a forgotten gem. Before the Q-whatever nomenclature took over Nissan's premium division, before the crossovers bloated everything, there was this sleek, two-door beauty, the Infiniti G35. With that long hood and short deck profile, the lines of this Japanese coupe exuded class. It wasn't trying to be overly aggressive, just effortlessly cool. Under that sculpted hood, a 3.5-liter V6, the VQ35DE, a legend in its own right. 280 horses, ready to rumble. 0 to 60 happened in under 6 seconds, and top speed was 155 miles per hour. Now, it wasn't a fire-breathing monster, but it delivered smooth, linear power. You could feel the engineering, the attention to detail. Also, this thing handled. It shared its platform with the 350Z, which meant it inherited that car's sharp, responsive steering and well-balanced chassis. This wasn't some floaty luxury barge. It was a proper driver's car, capable of carving corners with confidence. Sure, it was a bit more refined, a bit less raw than its Nissan sibling, but that's what made it special. It was a grand tourer with a sporty edge. Maintenance? Not a nightmare. The VQ engine is known for its reliability, and parts are readily available. You're not dealing with some exotic, temperamental machine here. Now, for the best part, you can snag a clean example for less than 10 grand. So, if you're looking for a stylish, fun-to-drive coupe that won't break the bank, the 2003 to 2007 Infiniti G35 coupe certainly deserves a serious look. Number 10. Dodge Neon SRT4. Now, on to the final one that you've all been waiting for. You think you know cheap speed? You think you've seen the bargain bin of performance? If not, let's talk about the Dodge Neon SRT4, a car that took the automotive world's collective meh and turned it into a full-blown, holy crap. Did that just happen? Yeah, the Neon. The car your grandma probably drove to bingo night. The beige blob that blended into every parking lot. But then Dodge's Skunk Works, the SRT division, got their greasy mitts on it. They saw potential where everyone else saw a rolling appliance. They jammed a turbocharged 2.4-liter four-banger under the hood, cranked it up to 230 horsepower, and suddenly, this little Econobox was spitting flames. We're talking 0 to 60 in a face-melting 5.4 seconds. That's faster than a lot of serious sports cars of the era, and it cost peanuts. But here's the thing, 153 miles per hour. 153 in a Neon. Let that sink in. This wasn't some precise, aerodynamically refined supercar. This was a box on wheels, and let's be real, the SRT4 was raw. It was unrefined. Perk steer? Oh, you bet. Inside, you got plastics that would make a Happy Meal toy blush? Absolutely. But who cared? You were going fast, and you were doing it for less than the price of a moderately optioned Camry of the day. This wasn't about luxury. It was about adrenaline. It was about proving that you didn't need a fat wallet to have a blast. The Neon SRT4 was a reminder that performance could be accessible. That fun didn't have to break the bank. It was a scrappy underdog, a pocket rocket that punched way above its weight. And that, my friends, is why it deserves the top spot on our list. Because sometimes the most unexpected machines are the ones that leave the biggest impression. We hope you enjoyed this roundup of 150 miles per hour sleepers for under 10K. Which one would you pick? Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the Virtual Drives channel and hit the bell for more.